The Inner Journey, Jung's Ideas in an Age of Noise and Change. Soon, we live in an era that promises us everything. Information flows endlessly. Technology claims to solve every problem. And social networks open doors to infinite conversations. Yet, despite all this abundance, many of us feel an emptiness inside. Anxiety is on the rise, and people speak of exhaustion and a lack of meaning in life. Carl Gustav Jung, one of the most profound thinkers of the 20th century, foresaw this very crisis. His ideas, born against the backdrop of world wars and the collapse of old values, feel even more relevant today. Jung believed that humanity's greatest battle is not fought in the outer world, but within. To endure the age of noise and uncertainty, we must relearn how to listen to ourselves, embrace our hidden shadows, and discover a path that is truly our own. Yet the modern world pushes us in the opposite direction, towards living for appearances, fleeing from silence, and depending on the opinions of others. Jung was born at the end of the 19th century, a time when society placed its faith in science, progress, and reason. The world seemed poised for a golden age, but soon came the world wars, and the very tools of progress turned into instruments of mass destruction. Humanity learned that external structures, science, politics, religion, could collapse in an instant. Faced with this disillusionment, Jung asked, "Where can a person find stability?" His answer was radical yet simple, not in external systems, but in the depths of the self. True foundations must be built inwardly. Our age mirrors his. We may not face world wars in the same form, but our lives are shaken by their modern equivalents. Information wars, economic crises, climate disasters. Once again, the external world proves unstable. And once again, Jung's voice is heard. Seek your anchor within yourself. It's the modern world. Attention has become the most valuable currency. Corporations spend billions to capture it. Social media floods us with notifications. Headlines shout for our time. Advertisements whisper constantly. We train ourselves to switch rapidly, but lose the ability to focus deeply. Jung warned that without an inner center, we become playthings of circumstance. A person who does not know what they truly want will live by borrowed scripts. This is what's expected. This is what's prestigious. This is what everyone does. Such borrowed lives inevitably lead to weariness and emptiness. Yet focusing on oneself does not mean selfishness. It means returning to a simple but essential question. What truly matters to me? Buddhists call this the inward path. The Stoics called it living according to nature. The message is the same. If you do not know who you are, the world will decide for you. Many students choose careers not from passion, but from parental advice or social pressure. They may find external success, yet feel hollow after a few years. In contrast, someone who dares to pursue what resonates with them may struggle at first, but their life holds vitality and meaning. If Jung lived today, he might say, "The greatest problem of the modern person is the fear of silence." Look around. People fall asleep with the TV on, scroll news feeds while eating, and walk through the streets with headphones in. Silence feels foreign, almost frightening. And yet, silence is where we finally hear ourselves. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Withdraw into yourself. The wellspring of good is always ready to flow if you keep digging." Jung would have agreed. Silence, for him, was not emptiness, but the space where the unconscious reveals itself. Modern research supports this. Studies show that short periods of silence lower stress hormones, improve memory, and sharpen focus. More importantly, in silence we begin to notice what we have long suppressed: unacknowledged fears, unspoken desires, unresolved questions. No wonder so many people run from it. But even 10 or 15 minutes of quiet each day, without phone, music, or conversation, gradually reveals an inner order hidden beneath the noise. Try a minute of silence once a day. Simply sit and do nothing. Let thoughts come. Observe them. If anxiety arises, acknowledge it. This small practice begins to restore the connection with yourself. Every human being carries traits they would rather not see: anger, envy, jealousy, fear, the desire to dominate or control. We labeled these parts as bad and push them out of sight. But repression never erases them. As Jung warned, what we refuse to face takes root in the unconscious and controls us from there. He called this hidden side the shadow. The shadow is not only what society condemns, but also what we personally deny in ourselves. The more we ignore it, the stronger its grip becomes. A person who prides themselves on always being kind and easygoing may suddenly explode with harsh words after suppressing irritation for too long. A parent striving to be perfect may collapse into guilt after showing normal human fatigue. Such moments are eruptions of the shadow. For Jung, to face the shadow was not to indulge it, but to acknowledge it honestly. Yes, I can feel anger. I can envy. I can fear. What matters is not to erase these, but to learn how to channel them. Anger can guard our boundaries. Envy can motivate growth. Fear can remind us to tread carefully rather than recklessly. Viktor Frankl echoed this. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose. Awareness of the shadow gives us that space. Buddhist practice aligns with this approach. Emotions are not to be fought, but observed. When we cease treating our darkness as an enemy, it loses its power to rule us from within. Recall a recent moment of strong emotion, anger, jealousy, fear. Write it down. Ask yourself, what was I afraid of losing? What value of mine did this touch? How might I transform this energy into something useful? This simple act begins the dialogue with the shadow. Jung wrote, "Man is not destroyed by suffering. He is destroyed by suffering without meaning." He saw that the crises of the 20th century broke people most where there was no inner anchor, none in this. He resonated with Viktor Frankl. Having survived the concentration camps, Frankl concluded, "He who has a why can bear almost any how. Meaning is not luxury, it is survival." Yet today we often confuse meaning with goals. We believe, when I buy the house, land the job, receive recognition, then my life will have meaning. But such milestones quickly fade. Meaning runs deeper. Abraham Maslow called it self-actualization, the realization of one's true nature, rather than the imitation of others. For one, it may be creativity. For another, raising a family. For another still, serving the community. A school teacher may never earn vast wealth, but if each day they inspire young minds, their life is filled with more genuine fulfillment than that of a business person chasing numbers alone. Ask yourself, what would I do if money and approval did not matter? What legacy do I wish to leave behind? The answers often point to our deepest why. For Jung, self-knowledge was not a fashionable hobby or a diversion. It was the profound work of building a bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. The unconscious does not only contain trauma and repression, it holds enormous untapped resources, intuition, creativity, inner strength, but reaching it requires courage. The courage to face not only what delights us, but also what frightens us. Jung described this journey as individuation, the process of becoming whole, of becoming truly oneself. It means embracing both light and shadow, both strengths and weaknesses, both what is socially acceptable and what is uniquely our own. In this, Jung's vision harmonizes with ancient traditions. The Stoics spoke of living according to nature. The Buddhists of awakening. Jung translated the same truth into the language of psychology, wholeness. Once a week, keep a dialogue journal. Write down, what am I feeling? Where does this feeling come from? What does it reveal about me? Over time, patterns emerge, hidden threads that remain unseen in daily busyness. Jung's insights remind us that the inner path is not a retreat from life, but its foundation. To focus on ourselves, to rediscover silence, to embrace the shadow, to seek meaning, and to pursue self-knowledge. These are not luxuries. They are necessities for living fully in an age of noise and uncertainty. Thank you, truly, for staying with me until the very end. I hope these reflections on Jung's journey into the inner world gave you something valuable to carry into your own life. If this message spoke to you, if it stirred even a small thought or question, I invite you to support this channel. Subscribe so that you do not miss the next steps of this exploration. And if you found meaning here, a simple like will help these ideas reach more people. Your presence here, your attention, means more than words can express. Together, we are building a space where the inner journey is honored and where silence, reflection, and truth can find a voice. Thank you once again. And until we meet in the next film,